Snr. Thank you for coming to our show, Popcorn.
Yep.
We welcome you pretty much.
You feel welcome.
Grace, I'll start with you. From a business lady to pursuing film. I mean, there's a lot going on in a whole production.
Yes.
Where do you get the energy from?
We love what we do.
Yeah.
We honestly do. And I mean, productions they're not always hectic, even though action is kind of very hype and fast. And, but so, you know, you kind of prepare yourself and you know that, okay, for the next 3 months I'll be working on this and kind of zoom in and tune in.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
true.
To be honest, I get inspired with everything around me, to be honest with you. I can't really say inspired from him or this or that. It's just more or less what you do naturally comes to you naturally. It's like breathing. You don't count how many breaths you do a day. You just do it because it comes naturally. So for me, I get inspired by different things around me, and it always boils down to when I'm writing that I've actually come up with the idea. So it's just generally day-to-day living, and it comes as natural as breathing. That's what it is. I get inspiration with the way they tell their stories in regards to how I would tell my stories. So it's more inspired guidance. But the inspiration to do what I do comes to me from what I live on a day-to-day basis. So I admire how they tell their stories, and I look at that and, okay, how did they tell that story? Okay, this was about a death. How did they relate that to people? How did they do that? And I just learned the art of how to tell it from those kind of people. So they inspire how I tell the story, but they don't inspire me telling the story. Yeah.
It's very important as a producer to spend time in pre-production. Obviously spend time on the script, spend time with the director, to get an understanding of what he expects and what he wants. So obviously when you are in that heat of a moment, there needs to be a shift. You know, that you still again get from pre-production, because I think every single scene, it can be depicted or shown in 2 or 3 different ways.
Yeah.
So if there is a hiccup in one way, then you already know, because you work in pre-productions, and you understand exactly what the director wants and how the picture needs to show. So that's when you're able to counter for such movements.
The word itself, bloody simplex. Why that word actually? I want to get the first.
Okay, first I call it bloody simplex because first of all we shot in what's the name, Miriam's simplex, Ngomani's simplex. So we asked, where do you live? She said, well, I'm in a simplex in Fort Ways. So this is the only place I got so we can film there. I thought, okay, this is gonna be a very bloody event.
Simplex.
So I call this bloody simplex because there's gonna be a lot of blood anyway. So that's where the name derived from, actually.
And again, I think based on bloody simplex, we were really just trying to shy away from the telenovelas and drama series. So we're looking at horror and see how it was going to be perceived. But I know for sure that our love or our first choice has always been action films. So yeah, that's how that is simplex.
Like Micl was like a professional, character person. So do you actually do your own stunts?
Yeah, I do most of my stunts, yeah. But it only depends on how committed I am in regards to what's on my table. So if I don't have that much commitment in any regard to any other project I have, I do everything completely. But if I'm a bit swamped, then I always use a stunt double to fill in the gaps for this and that. But basically, yeah, I'm trained for it. I love to do it, but I don't want to be everywhere because I can. I'd rather just let other people help me because it's a team project at the end of the day. So yeah, that's basically what it is. Well, a short film and a feature film are the same thing. The only difference is you run the process shorter than you do with a feature. So basically, the work is the same. The technique is the same. Shot list, you need a cast, you need a rehearse, you need a block. Everything's the same, script down to all. So you're really taking a shorter time to do your project, so to speak, than you would with a list that's less scenes, less shot. Your storyboard is shorter. Your narrative is shorter. So you've taken a full feature. Shorts are actually features, but just narrowed down to just getting the key plot points, and that's what happens. So instead of you trying to break down the story in an hour, it's like you meet somebody and say you have no idea what happens. It's okay, brief it up. You're just gonna tell them, okay, this, that, and you get straight for who, when, what, and why, and that's basically what it is. So the work is the same, the time is the only difference. but you can't do it any different from what you do with a feature.
Yeah, also, I mean, it is absolutely, I agree with Michael, including the crew and cast.
Yeah.
It's still the same one. I mean, especially if you're looking for key players. For short films, you have less background actors because you quickly need to get to the point. But I mean, if you have to pay an A-grade talent, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Whether they come in for an hour or 5 hours, you know. So it's completely the same. The crew is all the same. Nothing is short. Nothing. Yeah.
The same process.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Well, what inspired that was the fact that I've always wanted to do action movies, and I've always wanted to see them happening from Africa, and actually being the sunrise in Africa. And I've noticed that we have a majority of soapies, drama stories, documentaries, and yet South Africa has more than 78% viewership of action movies, international action movies. So if anybody in South Africa says they don't like an action movie, I get confused how the stats are that high. So I just wanted to make sure that South Africa itself and Africa in general get a chance to start producing action films that are of international standard with the content that we have, our day-to-day lives and experiences like that we can put in film and tell it to an exciting audience, because the audience is getting younger and younger by the day. And access to film is becoming at your fingertips. So, because everything's so digital now, I thought, look, let's just do the same thing. I mean, because we can't all watch soapies. Let's take the action out, put it in film, because everybody else is doing it and succeeding at it. And why should we have to only see it from an international point of view? Yeah, we can do it ourselves here. Same thing with the soapies. And then now, what triggered the whole thing afterwards was the fact that Idris Elba, a good friend of mine, was supposed to have become the next James Bond. And when that didn't happen, because of obvious reasons, you know, he said something to me that made a lot of sense. He said, picture me, James Bond, Michael, I'm rushing, I'm speeding, I'm blowing places up, and I got all these guys behind me, and I decided to turn and hide in a restaurant or a bar. And they come in and they say, excuse me, have you seen a black guy about this high, shooting places? How difficult is he going to be to find, you know? So I thought, look, we can do it in Africa. I mean, there's more black people in here than you'd find elsewhere. So I thought, let's create our own James Bond instead of trying to fit in to the original James Bond. Because the truth is, like it or not, he's better white, because that's the origination of James Bond. And rather than take him and trying to change, it's gonna kill everything. So I decided, look, you've triggered it in me, I've always had it, and I thought, let's tell our own stories, and because we have real stories of assassins anyway.
On my side, I think producing action films of this note, which is, you know, more espionage, because especially taking back where we come from as a nation in South Africa, and being able to tell stories that are different, you know, tell stories that are at an international level, that can be understood at an international level. And things like, you know, the change of the economy, the new world order, the economy, the trades and all that. That is basically what we're going through at this point. You know, we're learning on how to become entrepreneurs, how to become, you know, big or own corporates and so forth. So when Michael brought the story through, I was like, whoa, okay, I kind of like where this is going, because, you know, we're kind of teaching in a different way, you know, but on the entertainment platform. So that's what I think was kind of interesting as well from his point of view. We're actually in the process of doing that now, as we speak. We're casting for the next level up of Project X in South Africa. And I'll allow the director to take you through the creative. But I think from the producing side and skills empowerment, we're actually bringing our whole stunt team from Hollywood. And we were just actually attending another conference where all the powers that be, you know, in the industry, and we told them that we want to do a skills transfer. So that's how we are going to educate and empower, you know, our fellow South Africans. So we'll bring all the crew, all the camera guys, all the stunt people to come in, and then we will have a separate team from South Africa who will then participate, not just watch, but be part of the crew. And that's the easiest and the only way that skills transfer will be transferred.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What was the question? To be honest, I'm bringing a stubborn attitude. I'll tell you that because I've had a lot of meetings with lots of producers and directors and actors, and none of them want to change. None of them want to evolve. None of them want to accept that it's not the same as it was before. And with all due respect to our nation's father, but it can't be about him forever. And I keep telling that, look, politics was for him, it's not for you. And what he did, we can't talk about it every day. That's not what he played a part in history for us to do. He played a part in history for you to be free, to be able to do other things and everything else. But everybody wants to stick there. It must be about Mandela, it must be about politics, it must be about apartheid, and nobody wants to move from there. So I'm bringing a stubborn attitude that says, I will do it whether you like it or not. Eventually, you're gonna drink. Because nobody wants to change from the drama, yet they have so many skills and so much talent, so much vision in themselves to do something different. But because they get into that industry, the other guy that's been in there for 40, 50 years, that only knows nothing but apartheid and Mandela and racism, decides this is how you should do film. And then they fall into that, and they don't want to move from that. So the only thing we can do is bring a stubborn attitude and lead by example. I'm gonna do it while I talk, rather than try and sit people down and say, look, you gotta change this, you gotta change that. These days, people believe when you do it, you know, it's more like, let me see it when it's done. So I'm bringing a stubborn attitude, and I'm just gonna do it and show everybody else that if I can, so can you. That's the only way you can motivate people these days. It's pretty difficult to sit somebody down and try and reset their knowledge, their mind, and take them out of the pain. You need to do and lead by example. Don't be a boss, rather be a leader. So that's what I bring to the table. We have to show what everybody in South Africa, especially the youth, are capable of doing by allowing their minds to be free, rather than saying, you free because there was an Independence Day, but after that, do it this way. So where's the freedom in that? So the freedom is freedom of mind for you. If you want to be a singer, if you want to do a genre that doesn't exist in South Africa, do it. Don't feel restricted at because they said. That's what you feel. Be free to be that. You could be the first South African to ever do that. And that puts you on a different pedestal. Rather than follow the wagon where everybody's taking it, and then you feel so imprisoned by your own creativity, your own mind, because that's just not how you do it there. Just do what you want to do, be yourself, and that's the only person that you can be.
How did that come about?
I grew up a shower musician like everybody else. My father, late, may God rest his soul, he bought the Thriller album. You know, it was vinyl. And as I was growing up, I always used to see it. Like, he had like dozens of them. You know, we had that little, you know, radio, I forget what they call them. I'm so used to digital now, so all that terminology is gone. And yeah, so I used to see all of them there. Don Williams, country music, my dad loved all that. You know, Commodores, Temptations, and Michael Jackson's just appealed to me, I don't know why. And I just kept playing it over and over and over again. And eventually at school, junior school, whenever I would sing, I used to sing like him. And I used to do everything, depict almost everything he was doing. And it just endorsed my love for music and entertainment. And I started to write my own songs, started to do this and do that, started winning competitions, Michael Jackson competitions, and it just became worse. And you know, my name being Michael made it easier for people to say, hey, there's Michael. And it became worse and worse and worse, and my dream was always, I want to meet him one day. And eventually, you know, God willing, I met him and his family. I lived with the Jacksons for quite a while. They inspired me musically. They godfather my kids. And it endorsed just how music should be. You know, you learn a lot from legends like that. And it just, there's no way you can escape that. So I was always in the right environment with the right people. And it just, yeah, music's just who I am. That's the first person in me. And film comes second, because after I do it musically, I like to tell it visually, excuse me. So music is just me. It's music and me. So yeah, that's what it is.
Anything you can look out for new from you guys?
Yes, of course. We actually, another thing, when you mentioned about what we're doing, we're currently looking for script writers, screenwriters. Yes, where we can actually film their own scripts. There should be like 5 minutes, but everything is on our website. There is a prize to it, and we want to film that script for any screenwriters. And if you're keen, you can go to our website, miclngrace.com, miclngrace.com. And obviously, we've got now the short film that's coming up. Yeah.
And we're in the middle of a production right now for a film. It's got Rogue Taze, again, the same assassin of Project X. It's showing one of the African missions that he had. It's quite exciting. It's one of the largest raw diamond extractions ever to be pulled in sub-Saharan Africa. So we in the middle of doing that. We should be done. We should be filming in October. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. So yeah.
Be like behind the scenes, shooting the behind the scenes somehow one day.
Feel free.
Yes, of course. Absolutely. We'll let you know.
Bring it up.
Yeah. Definitely.
Hey, listen to me, buddy. You need to take care of this problem.
Yeah, I gotta get going. I have a very important special event I need to give my undivided attention to. Yeah. Get it done.
Oh my God, baby, I just love when a man takes charge of a situation.
I was built for that, honey. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of this situation.
Good, I hope you do.
What the fuck?
Oh my God.
How'd you get in here?
Lexi has a gun. What is going on?
Okay, calm down,
I don't
sweetheart.
wanna die.
Calm down, sweetheart. It's okay. Okay, I think I know what this is all about, all right? Let's let the girl go and we can talk about this like gentlemen, in private.
What is your name?
Sweetheart, don't tell him anything. You don't.
It's Jamie. My name is Jamie.
ID card.
Please, I promise I won't tell anybody. Please, I just want to. Please.
Jamie. You're free to go.
He sent you, didn't he? A backstabbing piece of shit. Before you get comfortable, let me tell you something. You're not gonna get anything out of me, so there's the door, buddy.
Senator, you have exactly 60 seconds to answer one simple question and follow one simple instruction.
You son of a bitch.
Shut up, Senator. This could go either two ways. Make a wise choice. Your 60 seconds starts now. What do you know about Project X?
I don't know anything about Project X.
Wrong answer.
Oh, fuck!
What do you know about Project X? 40 seconds. 35. 30.
Okay, it was a secret CIA mission carried out in Africa, all right?
Feel free to go on, Senator.
The CIA worked with some certain government officials, okay, to exterminate. Ah, fuck, man.
Go on, Senator. It's in your best interest.
All right, you want me to spell it out for you? You want me to spell it out for you? Assassinations. They were trained covert ops, and there was only one man that knew about it. Oh, God.
Well, Senator, if you may be so kind to write down the name and location for me, I'd appreciate that.
Fuck you. Piece of shit. Now leave, please.
Well, Senator, I need you to know you have done your country a great service.
No. Stop it. No, please.
Rico, I need you to be on your tippy toes tonight. You need your instincts to be sharper than ever.
Anything specific you need me to be on the lookout for, aside from the norm?
I'll let you be the judge of that.
Always at your service, ma'am. Always.
Take these gloves off. Don't answer.
I'll get something to do.
Job playing with that mess we made. I don't need a damn pat on my back for my contracts. Suit yourself. Here's your money.
Hey, what the fuck you did? I thought we passed that. Well, are you satisfied?
Should I be?
I'll tell you why you should be. Because you know as well as I do that in this business, there are no guarantees, right?
You should know by now that I am a fucking guarantee.
I'm sorry it had to be this way, my friend. But it's like I said, in this business, there are no guarantees. Clean up this mess.
Oh,